What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 6 of the Wild Blueberries Roundtable. Today I'm here with Andrew, Renz, and Nick. Today we are going to get into the NHL and NBA playoffs, obviously with the Bruins moving on, and the Warriors potentially moving on tonight as the game is going on right now, as well as an elongated final thoughts, as some people have final thoughts on how their baseball team is having players with issues about not having their horses in the back and getting hurt on their ranches. All right. So let's get it started with the NHL playoffs. I'm going to get us started with the Eastern Conference Finals, and I know Nick is happy right now as he is a Boston Bruins fan. The Bruins swept the Carolina Hurricanes 4-0 in convincing fashion in order to make it to the Stanley Cup final, which at the end of the game, when everybody saw that the Capitals and the Lightning were eliminated, we all thought the Bruins would end up being the team to do it. 5-2 in game 1, 6-2 in game 2, 2-1 in game 3, 4-0 win in game 4. Tuukka Rask has been dominant this series. Nick, throw it together. What's your thoughts here, obviously?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to get some Stanley Cup action back here in Boston. It was a good series. I honestly didn't expect Carolina to get swept. They're a really young, fast team, and I thought they might have had a bit more bite in them. I guess they had a 7-game series to start. I guess the rest after sweeping New York wasn't what they needed, but Rask has been unbelievable. You talk to half the Boston Bruins fan base, and a lot of them aren't huge fans of Rask. He doesn't show up in big games, is what they say. But I think that if this postseason is any indication of what we can expect from Rask going forward and just how he's been throughout his career, then we're in good hands. I'm excited for the finals.
All right, and obviously there are issues with Bruins fans having a negative perception of Tuukka sometimes. Let's just all remember that they traded Andrew Raycroft for him, and that is still always hilarious to talk about, just in general, that they have been the winners of that, obviously. People do also have the perception outside of our wonderful city of Boston that they don't deserve another championship. And me being a New York fan, I am impartial with that statement. You guys do not deserve a third championship in 8 months. If you guys get it, good for you. If you don't, good for us. But
It's been 105 days. Got to end the drought. 105 days since the last.
105 days?
Yeah.
Shut up!
shut
Not
up.
too many championships.
Triple-digit days. Oh, the horror.
105 days. Jesse Pollock hasn't won a TSM bar down quiz in more days than you have won a championship. So shut your mouth.
It's been
let's be honest,
34
none of us would be surprised if
years.
they won.
It's been 34 years.
34 years. I've had 10.
34 years since the Flyers last won.
I've had 10 since my last team won, and I've never seen my hockey team win.
It's only been 2 since we last won.
Get that. But
I've never seen one in my entire life.
since 09, and it's been a while since the Knicks, Jets, or Islanders have won something.
Yep, and I have never seen one of my teams win.
I've been lucky. I've seen 2 championships.
I've lived through one, and I vividly remember it because it's the only one I've seen.
I've been
lived through
alive.
3, remember 2.
Nick's been alive for 12?
12 championships.
Yep, 12.
So,
Yeah.
You and your championships can kick rocks.
Seriously, I have to agree with you there. Just kick rocks. Just go celebrate. that you're going to get swept by whoever comes out of the Western Conference Finals.
Please. For the memes.
Speaking about the Western Conference Finals, St. Louis, after a 5-0 victory last night over the San Jose Sharks, Jaden Schwartz did another thing. Andrew, what are your thoughts on the surprising yet obvious dominance of Jaden Schwartz in this game?
It wasn't expected after his regular season, but he's taking his game to another level in the playoffs. It's been fun to watch, to see how his game is developed. And in news today for the Sharks, Joe Pavelski, Tomas Hertl, and Erik Karlsson could be out for Game 6.
Damn, that's
That would be a death blow.
not good.
Peter DeBoer said, "I'm not giving any injury or travel updates today. We'll address whatever lineup gives us the best chance to win, so you know that's the best way I can answer that."
So they're screwed.
Yeah, if those three don't play, it will be the St. Louis Blues sweeping the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Final.
Because
To be fair, it would be kind of fun to see St. Louis finally win.
it would be nice. I mean, they almost lost their team to Saskatoon. How many years ago has it been now?
1978, I think, was the year, or like something like that.
31.
30-something years since
Yeah.
Wait,
their team.
what did X-Tech say it is? Because since he started up his new series,
That's the
Yeah, he's-
Saskatchewan like stag, something like that.
yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Remember, all I remember is your name tree in his Blues Legacy of Failure video.
Yeah,
With the Saskatoon comment.
yeah.
I just still can't believe that the Blues almost lost them to that same
Saskatoon.
to that.
I think what's weirder is that they weren't even gonna rebrand. They were still going to be the Blues.
That's the annoying part. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously we talked about the Bruins winning, Jaden Schwartz. Brent, is the Sharks' luck run out?
I would, yeah, it's run out. Like, I can't see them winning Game 6, even though I would think they could, but it's gonna be hard, especially in like St. Louis right now.
All right. So legitimately, that's all we've got for the NHL because again, dead zone until next week when the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals start. So continuing with sports that are helping us through the dead zone. I guess I'll send it over to Andrew to give his opinion on what's going on in the Eastern Conference Finals right now.
Oh, I was going to go Western Conference Final with the game.
With the Western Conference Finals, since the game is going on right now.
Since with the game going on right now, the Eastern Conference Final Game 4 will take place tomorrow night. But tonight, Golden State is in Portland looking to sweep the Trailblazers. They're currently up by 3 with 4 minutes to go in the first. Andre Iguodala is out for this game. So maybe the Blazers have a shot at pushing it to 5. Because Andre Iguodala has played so well for the Warriors, but it's going to be hard for them to win this game because of the Warriors' depth. I think it'll end tonight as everyone expects it to.
Obviously, we are inching closer and closer to what could be the last game together for this so-called dynasty of the Golden State Warriors. I mean, I shouldn't even be saying so-called, the Golden State Warriors dynasty as we know it, because for all we know, going into this offseason, Clay, Durant, Boogie Cousins could all be gone. Which looks very certain this point that Katie and Boogie are gone, Clay's a little bit more interesting based on the whole Kawhi Leonard thing going on, because now everybody's like, oh, he's going to stay in Toronto, but now there's still the whole Kawhi Leonard Clippers thing. And then there are also those things where the Clippers are still going to be big money spenders, and could it be Klay Thompson? Like, that's just a big question to ask. But obviously the Western Conference kind of ended up being how we expected it to, with the Warriors most likely going to the NBA Finals unless the Trailblazers pull off a gentleman's sweep, which I highly doubt will happen. All right, now to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is a little bit more interesting because both teams are putting up fights, I guess, question mark. Obviously, last night's Bucks-Raptors game 3, went into double OT. George Hill led the Bucks in points, which is a little concerning that Giannis went 5 for 16 from the field, but he had 23 rebounds. Renz, what's your thought on probably what's been the most intriguing series in any sport right now, in this Milwaukee-Toronto slugfest is what we'd like to call it?
So far, it's been like a good series. After Milwaukee took a 2-0 lead, I thought like, are the Raptors gonna get swept or something? Because I wouldn't want that. So in Game 3, they showed that they're still in this series, which is a good thing. Like, this is a series that I would love to go to 7, but I'm fearing that if this series gets 7, whoever wins is going to get absolutely routed by a completely rested Warriors squad if they end up beating the Trailblazers today.
All right, so we kind of seen the outcome here, but obviously sports are dead. The entire issue right now is that there's just really nothing going on because the MLB is just in an interesting spot right now, and nothing's going on in football except for the fact that like Reuben Foster tore his ACL today, and Carson Wentz is coming back from injury.
He'll be a full participant in OTAs tomorrow. Carson Wentz.
Participating in OTAs.
He has been fully cleared by doctors to participate in OTAs.
Right. That's really, really important.
That's a very good thing to hear.
All right, so the last thing before moving to final thoughts, a little bit of Memorial Cup action going on so far in the Memorial Cup, which is taking place between the Rwanda Huskies, the Prince Albert Raiders, the Guelph Storm, and the host Halifax Mooseheads. Halifax is 2-0, Guelph is 1-1. Prince Albert and Rwanda both lost their first games. Right now, Rwanda is defeating Prince Albert 6-3. Noah Dobson scored. Oh no, the game's basically over. There's a minute left. Noah Dobson scored a goal, an empty netter, but he also had a very nice breakout to get to help Rwanda take the lead. It's been an interesting Memorial Cup playoffs, as really nobody's taking alert to them, but players like Sean Dursey and Noah Gregor, Noah Dobson, and Tom Morant, they're showing off. And also in the goalie side of things, it's more of a question mark because now with Ottawa obviously not in it, we don't get to see our influx of Michael DiPietro, but we do get to see Chicago 6th-round pick from last year, Alexei Gravel, help the home team in Halifax fight for the Memorial Cup. So that's sports. That's sports right now, guys. Is that it? Am I right? Is that
Pretty much.
for sports?
That's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I've got one thing. It's I will say this as also a contingent of the Rangers fan base. It is a good time to be a New York Rangers fan. If you look at the signings over the past couple of weeks, Vitaly Kravtsov's coming over from just one season in the KHL. Igor Shesterkin's finally signed, and you finally start to see,
They signed Igor Rikov today, and they also brought back John Davidson as president of Hockey Ops.
Yep, it's looking up in New York Rangers territory. The young players are starting to take over in what could be a very interesting couple of years.
Obviously, the Islanders are having a little bit more of a struggle with their European free agents. They terminated the contract of Yannick Rathgeb the other day. He's headed back to Switzerland. Didn't really work out in the AHL. The guy worth a shot. Then we got Ilya Sorokin, which is a whole nother story. He'll be here in a couple of years. And then also Anatoly Golyshev signed a new 4-year contract with Optimo Balista Ekaterinburg in the KHL. Apparently, if the Islanders spoke to him sooner, he would have come over for the playoffs this year, which he didn't because the Islanders decided to let him play in the playoffs with Optimo Balista without them worrying about the whole Islanders thing. But he said 2 years in, if the Islanders still want him, he would definitely be willing to come over. So 2 years, Islanders fans. 2 years, and we get a pure goal scorer in Golyshev, who's been killing it in the KHL. All right, moving into final thoughts, because legitimately we're 17 minutes into this episode. It's going to be a half an hour episode, but also, before we do anything, obviously, sports fans alike know Tim Britton, who's the Mets writer for The Athletic, decided to do something really great on Twitter just now. There are 5 outs to go for the Nationals in the Mets game, and Juan Soto's up. So, of course, Tim Britton did this. When there's 5 outs to go, starting with Juan Soto, that's Zamora. I hate The Athletic writers so much. If anybody watches Game of Thrones, obviously that ended last night. There was a meme, obviously, with the whole writing at the end. Somebody put in place of the writing that they were doing, why I'm joining The Athletic, which was just hilarious because obviously we all know that was legitimately the thing for how long? Like a year. It was just everybody tweeting like
It was like
The Athletic.
it was like middle of the 2018 year, like middle of 2018, where you just saw every writer say why I'm joining Athletic, and I feel like that had to be like the contract thing.
All right, so moving into final thoughts after tangent after tangent after tangent. But I mean, that's what we expect with this show. I mean, there's really nothing going on, so we're just gonna say what we mean and mean what we say. So I will start it off. First off, thank you, MLS. You did the right thing by suspending Zlatan Ibrahimovic 2 games for basically choking Sean Johnson. The MLS missed a lot of calls this past week, and I know Andrew's going to want to talk about some of that, along with the Philadelphia Union struggles this past game. Also, in Yankees universe, somehow they're putting together a fight. Don't know how. And Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run off of the batter's eye in Tampa today on a rehab assignment. So he'll be back soon, thank goodness. And I'm going to say one more thing, even as a Yankee fan, got to give it up to Michael Chavis. He's had some issues with PEDs in the past for the Red Sox and the minors. He literally has come up and has shown that he is a budding superstar. It's been a month since his major league debut, and he has 9 home runs and is one of the Red Sox best hitters. So credits to him. But obviously, in the end, Vlad is doing a great job also. The AL Rookie of the Year race will be interesting. Also, and I'm going to send it over to Renz right after I say this. Congrats to Yoenis Cespedes. As I was saying earlier, he wasn't the one who put the horses in the back because he got hurt yesterday. Renz, take it away with your Mets rant.
Okay, so I'm just start this off. If I was 21, I would actually have a webcam on to you guys to see me chugging 2 beers, crushing them on my head, and not even caring about the repercussions just because I needed the drink.
Dangle did with the Dion Phaneuf trade.
Yes, but twice as hard. Okay, let me just start here. So, 3 hits in 2 games. Against the Marlins? Like, out of all, come on. You get fucking swept by the Marlins, the worst team in baseball. And in the games 2 and 3, you get 2 hits in the first game. No, you get 1 hit in the second game, 2 hits in the third game. Like, what the fuck? Where's the offense? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, my grandma could have probably swept the Marlins. She's been dead for over a decade. Like, okay, I'm just going to go to, a player-by-player thing here. So, let's start with good old Robbie Cano. Oh, boy. So, first of all, we're going to go with this. So, in the second game of that series, Robbie Cano hits a ball, and he doesn't hustle first. He thought there's 1 out. Bullshit. You're a baseball player. You should know how many outs there are. You don't blame a scoreboard malfunction. And then yesterday, he sees this. He hits a ball. He doesn't think it's foul. He still doesn't run, and he's complaining about how it's not out. What do you mean it's not out? You're supposed to hustle. That doesn't do anything else. And then after all of this, gets up by the Marlins, completely fine. And then later today, I see Yoenis Cespedes somehow just fractures ankle. At first, when I heard his fractures his ankle, I said, okay, that just sounds very Mets. When I heard how he does it, I was thinking to myself, this is so Mets. I don't even think this might be the most Mets injury I think I've heard in a long-ass time. How do you injure yourself that badly in a range during the night? He also does this thing where he doesn't want anyone to help him, which I find stupid. But also, good lord, me and Scott were talking about this a little bit earlier before this, that who would play first, Jacoby Ellsbury and Yoenis Cespedes? I said neither because they're probably going to be injured forever and they're just going to keep getting their paychecks right off to the sunset. Okay.
Teams have insurance on those contracts.
Yes, very much. Very much. Let's see. Have I just put in everything? Ayers, I'm going to jug into one more thing.
For how much longer? A year?
Yeah, we're fine.
Ellsbury until 2023.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys. Wasn't it a 7-year pack with a few options?
Yeah, 7-year pact worth $153, and it was an 8th-year option worth $169. That's the only nice thing about the contract.
I know, it sucks. And there's going to be one more thing I'm going to rant about. Good old Mets Twitter about firing Mickey Callaway. 1, did you seriously think firing Mickey Callaway or thinking of firing him would actually fix the team? It's not his fault that he's been handed with a terrible-ass hand and say, oh, make this team good. It's just wait, what with this? Yeah, do it. Okay. I think I'm done.
All right, that was, you said you were going to rant. I didn't realize you were going to do that. All right, let's send it over to Andrew because I know he has a reason to complain about the union giving up a lot of chances.
I've got multiple things on the table today. Start out in the MLS with the Union. They played Seattle this week on Saturday. Seattle was a team coming into Philadelphia, having just played a game in Seattle on Wednesday night, coming in on short rest, missing 7 of their guys. What did the Union proceed to do? A 0-0 draw, where they missed probably at least 5 or 6 shots over the net and out of play, or just completely wide. Granted, Stephen Fry made a couple of huge saves that kept Seattle in the game.
Stephen such a good goalie. He's so underrated.
He is. I'll give him that. He made some good saves when he needed to, but the Union pissed away about 5 or 6 chances on Saturday against a team that was very tired and a team that also should have been down to 10 men after a clumsy challenge in, I think, the 69th minute before their center back got subbed off. Now, on to my other points. Number 1, Bryce Harper is back. He hit 2 home runs this weekend in the Phillies' sweep of the Rockies. He hit one onto Ashburn Alley in center field over the batter sign in center, over the camera well, 466 feet on Friday night. Or no, on Saturday. Yesterday, he hit a go-ahead 2-run homer in the 6th that gave them the lead and gave them the sweep. So Bryce Harper is back. That's a good thing to see. Also, Aaron Nola is back. He was dealing on Friday night. Now we come, finally, to the Eagles. OTAs start tomorrow. Carson Wentz will be a full participant in OTAs. He will be fully healthy, no limitations. That's a good thing to hear. And then we also get to find out what's going to happen with his contract situation. Will he sign a massive long-term deal? I hope so. And also, one final thing. Thank you, Chris Long. You're a wonderful player here in Philly. You're a wonderful human being. Enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, he really deserves it.
I wish you'd still be here playing here in Philly. Because losing Chris Long is going to be, I think, a fairly large loss for this team. Because of how underrated his role was on this team. But if someone gets hurt, he's only a call away. Maybe he'll come back. If someone gets hurt and he can,
but anyone can.
Yeah. Well, Jason Witten went from the broadcast booth back to the field, but Jason Witten isn't good. He wasn't good the year he retired. Chris Long actually has been good the past couple seasons. Jason Witten, you saw, was losing his step, so he retired. Now he's come back. He's spent a year in the booth, not playing football. He's going to be worse. Good luck, Cowboys. Also, good luck with Zeke Elliott, who got detained at a music festival this past weekend.
Yeah, there were a lot of people detained at that music festival last weekend.
There were, yeah. But to see him, it's just more negative press on Zeke Elliott. Which I don't mind, being an Eagles fan. All the negative press can go on to Dallas and making Dak Prescott a $30 million quarterback, which he's not. If you want to pay him $30 million a year, fine by me.
Jerry Jones would be the one person to pay him $30 million.
That's just less money you can pay other players.
Jerry Jones in Jerry World. And Gleyber Torres just hit another home run against the Orioles.
So it's 6-7-6.
It's on the year 8 against Baltimore.
It's 7-5.
It's 7-6 now.
Yeah.
7-6. Yes.
All right.
So are we on to
Nick?
Final
Nick?
thoughts?
Yeah, so just I guess again, it's a great time to be a Boston fan. Cup finals next week, next Monday. The ice is looking phenomenal. Got the Stanley Cup 2019 logo already on there. It's a good time to be a Rangers fan. We got a lot of young players coming up through the organization. The Red Sox, albeit they had their struggles.
Bad. You have the Cubs,
Yes.
and in a month they're getting Capo Caco. All right,
Yes.
we get it.
And then the Red Sox, as spoken on earlier, Michael Chavis has been an absolute monster. Definitely the replacement for Dustin Pedroia. The Red Sox struggled to start the year, but they've played themselves back into a decent spot. Hector Velasquez needs to be DFA'd. Him and his 135 ERA the other day. And I cannot wait till we get Nathan Eovaldi,
like 3.8 on the season, though.
which is ridiculous in and of itself that it's that low. But just cannot wait to get Nathan Eovaldi back. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So that is it on a very what's the word here? Interesting episode of the Wild Blueberries Roundtable, where we covered everything from Nick being a crazy Boston sports fan to Renz being angry that Robinson Cano can't do shit to me realizing that my sports teams haven't won a thing in a while. All right, so we'll see you guys on Thursday for episode 7, where Alex may be back. I'm not sure. But other than that, stuff is not going on in sports, and you could see it based on how this podcast went. All right, see ya.